Thank you for joining the cover all of the benefit options available in the 2024 calendar year. Very exciting news, as I'm sure you are all aware that the market is very volatile and so very excited to announce that not only will your plan sign, but you'll have a very minimal increase to your weekly premium rates. We have maintained both a high deductible health plan as well as a traditional or otherwise known as copay health plan, and we'll cover some of the basics of each of these plan designs for everyone on this video. To remind those of you who are currently enrolled and to inform those of you who may be newly eligible. So jumping right into the high deductible health plan, for those who are less familiar with this plan design structure, you essentially have three different buckets that are going to apply to covered services. First being your deductible, the second being your coinsurance, and the third being your out-of-pocket maximum. So I'm going to go through each of these with you. And of course, if you do have very specific questions, always reach out to Human Resources or reference the summary plan descriptions that you've been provided. So starting with the deductible, this is the amount of covered services and charges applied to those covered services that you are responsible for paying fully until that deductible amount has been met. So an important thing to note with that, as you can see here, for an individual on the plan, the annual deductible is $4,000. Keep in mind that on this plan, Bliffert Lumber is going to contribute $2,500 towards that deductible once you have met $1,500 of it. So while the plan design does show an annual deductible of $1,000, you can really think of it as $1,500 because your employer is contributing towards the remainder of that deductible amount. Once your deductible has been met, if you continue to receive covered services in network, your coinsurance is going to kick in. And what that means is your coinsurance is the amount that the plan or the insurance carrier is paying towards those covered services once your deductible has been met. So as you can see here, things like primary care or special visits are going to be 100% covered once that deductible has been met. Keep in mind that your preventive care screenings, so think about annual routine exams, mammograms, colonoscopies, any of those preventive screenings are always going to be 100% covered. So aside from that, any other covered services, you have coinsurance. The plan is going to cover 100% once you've met deductible. Your out-of-pocket maximum. So that is the annual amount that you would be responsible for at most, regardless of the number of covered services that you received. Now, keep in mind, in network versus out of network, it's really important if you are not sure whether or not the provider that you're seeing is covered in network to verify that before receiving any services. And I say that because, as you can see on this plan design, it's very beneficial to you from a cost perspective. As you can see, the out-of-pocket annual maximum is going to be significantly higher if you are receiving out-of-network service. Keep in mind, and if you have any questions and the network maps to ensure that you are receiving in-network support. Second plan available to you is a traditional or copay health plan. It works differently than a high deductible plan. As you can see, there are flat copay dollar amounts applied to certain services as well as coinsurance. That is going to be a $60 copay. There are $300 copay, but those are waived if you are admitted. So there are different flat amounts that will apply based on the services that you're receiving. And again, of course, visiting an in-network provider is going to be advantageous to you from a cost perspective. So very important to take a look at that. Your preventive care screenings, again, will 100% be covered. Something to think about with those preventive care screenings is that if you have, let's say, a lab or other services that are coming from that preventive care screening, those may not necessarily be 100% covered because they're not the screening itself. So just keep that in mind when you are receiving those annual physicals or regular screenings, that if there are additional services that come with screening, you may see the screening itself will always be 100% covered as long as you are receiving that within network. One other thing to note is that the weekly premium rates you see here are going to be applicable to those of you electing both the health plan as well as the group dental plan. So that be covering both of those plans if you are selecting both of them. And I'll jump into the dental plan next. So as you can see here, nothing is changing with the plan design. The deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums are going to remain the same. And your preventive screenings are going to be 100% covered. So, as long as you are seeing an in-network provider, you will have coverage there for those annual cleanings and exams. If you do have questions about your providers, whether or not they are in network, it is a very broad network, but you can always search that using the URL listed on this page. And if you are waiving the health insurance, but you do want to enroll in the dental plan, your weekly premiums are going to be listed here. Group vision plan is also to remain the same in terms of plan design and network. No changes here and very standard in terms of the level of coverage that's provided. As you can see, there are copays applied to different services based on what you are receiving. Pretty standard in the lenses that there will be a $0 copay. However, if you are adding additional things like perhaps a tint or some coating, you may expect a copay on those add-ons. In terms of the frequency, you are able to receive an exam, so your typical annual exam every 12 months. And same goes for your lenses and contact lenses. There's a 12-month frequency. The frames are going to be on a 24-month schedule, and you get frame allowance towards the top here. So you would receive, as long as you're visiting an in-network provider, $130 allowance every 24 months towards those frames, and then 20% off of a remaining balance if there is one. If you're unsure about the net, with IMED, so it's very expansive in terms of the number of covered providers. You can search that online as well, and the link to do so is listed in this benefit summary booklet. Life insurance is another policy or form of coverage that your employer is providing at cost to you. So this is providing you with a basic term life in the amount of 15,000. There are some age benefit reduction applied, and this is all standard with group life plans. Do make sure that you are newly eligible to enroll in benefits, or if you've had some changes in your family situation, that you are updating your beneficiary as well during this period. In addition to the group term life plan, you also have the opportunity to elect a voluntary life insurance plan. So you can see here the benefits are listed, $10,000 increments for that benefit for yourself, and you do have the option to cover spouses and dependent children. There may be evidence of insurability required. It's typically a very clinical questionnaire. So again, for those of you who are new to the plan and are unfamiliar, you can expect to be required to fill out that evidence of insurability, depending on the benefit amount you are electing. And then for those who are increasing their benefit amount, you may expect that as well before that benefit increase is approved. In addition to group term life, your employer also provides you with a short-term and long-term disability policy. So as you can see in the description here, this is going to provide you with a supplemental income when you're out on disability in the amount of 66% of your typical salary with a maximum amount of $300 per week. And the benefit duration will depend on your specific situation, but the maximum duration on this plan is 26. Following the short-term disability, if uh, you continue to be incapacitated and are not able to return, you would have this long-term disability benefit kick in, which is going to give you a 60% salary continuation with a maximum amount of 5,000 per month. And that may continue for quite some time, depending on your age at the start of your disability. It can continue all the way up to normal Social Security retirement age. There is some additional information in this benefit booklet regarding telemedicine, as well as some of the terms that we've covered today. And then, of course, your preventive care. So, this is really important to note that preventive care is going to be covered. We want you to reach out to your typical provider and receive these routine screenings. The earlier that you catch these things, the better off you are from a wellness perspective and also financially. So, really important, and appreciate your time and attention. Wish you all a very happy 2024.